Goody, 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 everyone! Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you all! Bringing to you my review of Kamen Rider Revice episode 16. So, I have a major issue, and I'm expecting that all of you who are listening to this video already knows where I'm going with this. The beginning of the episode, oh my god. Phoenix, why didn't you arrested them aside from Julio and Angelia, if I pronounce her name finally? You could have just apprehended them right there and then. Instead, you guys just stood there while you're watching the self-destruction of what's left of the Deadmans. Come on, guys. You fell asleep. Because we're witnessing the destruction of their base thanks to the hands of Ikki. And poor Angelia is crying, thinking that Gifu is destroyed. Julio is trying his best to reach her and to comfort her, while Oteka and Chameleon are just standing there waiting to get arrested, I guess. They could have just ran off, which they did, but I mean, still. And then Oteka reveals that Angelia was nothing more than a puppet leader. She was nothing. She was nothing more than a tool. Because he mentioned earlier on that she was supposed to be the sixth sacrifice. So, talk about being used. And then Julio is trying to attack Oteka and making him take back his words. And we get to reveal a little bit of his backstory, that apparently Angelica found him at the deepest depths of depression or whatever. Like, he was in the lowest of the lows. And she found him and she gave him a new purpose. And he is willing to do anything to repay that debt. So we understand where Julio's coming from, because he's a loyal dead man and he will do anything to protect her and help her out with her goals and everything. And again, Phoenix just stood there. They couldn't just break it up. To me, that scene was kind of stupid on their part, because you could have just arrested them here and there and be done with it. But no, you just stood there and watched the whole imploding of everything. Oh my god, man. I mean, don't get me wrong, Hiromi tried to intervene, but once he transformed, he just couldn't anymore. Like, his body couldn't handle it. And then Angelia becomes mad with grief. She takes, I don't know if she had that V stamp with her all along, or she just happens to find it. But she uses the B stamp, transforms, and she, like I said, she becomes mad with grief. Julio tries his best to calm her down, but all that magical energy caused Oteka and the chameleon to escape. And yeah, that was it. All of the Deadmans escape. And that's where I have, like I said, an issue on that particular scene, because the Phoenix just stood there, just watched everything. To me, it makes them look stupid. I don't know, you guys. Do you think what do you think about that particular scene? Because by God, when I was watching this, and this is like the second time watching, I'm like, Phoenix, why did you guys stood there? You stood there and did nothing, and it's your fault that they escape. Take responsibility, for God's sakes. And what are the highlights aside from that? Yes. Gifu wasn't destroyed. He was taken to the Phoenix slash Shield base. I always wanna mention that. Let's just face it. Phoenix is Shield. It's Shield. So Gifu has been this quote unquote rescued from the wreckage, taken into Phoenix, and then Mamasan. Mamasan, I understand her I understand her. I really do. Every mom would feel worried about their daughters fighting this ultimate evil, even though she is a writer herself, and she has been proved, and she proved time and time again ever since she got the driver. Still, Mama-san's like, nope. And it got to the point where she had to hide. She hid Sakura's driver and put it somewhere within Papasan's stuff. And Sakura's like, already knows, okay, Mom, where is it? I know you hidden it somewhere. And Mama is acting dumb, like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you mean. Besides, the Deadmans are gone, so you don't have to fight anymore. But then Papa-san comes in with the driver and say, hey, Sakura, why is this within my stuff? And then Mama-san got pissed. And Papa is still hurt from his back. And then, yes. Hiromi comes in and had a secret meeting with the family. And I give kudos to Hiromi, because he right now, well, we all know that Phoenix is leaderless right now. The commander died, and it's time to elect a new leader. And of course, Hiromi wasn't like the first choice, but he had to step in and fill in the commander's shoes, because there's nobody there to really, there was no second in command. There wasn't. And so also I give kudos to Hiromi in this scene too, with the meeting, that you need to trust your kids more. They have a special power that could save the world and protect others. Just giving Mama-san that, hey, they have a special gift, and they need to use these gifts for the greater good, to save people and defeat Deadmans, because unfortunately, even though we have destroyed their base, their lieutenants are still out there, so it's not over until either they're destroyed or they're arrested. And I'm happy that they had this scene together, Hiromi and Mama-san, to like, please don't worry. And besides, Daiji and Iki are there to protect her in case things get really shitty. Also in this meeting as well, they know that the chameleon might come after them, and they figured, you know what, we need to protect you guys, your parents, because the enemy knows who you are. They also know who your parents are, and they're easy targets. So we need to have 24/7 guards to and protect them. And guess what? The chameleon did try to quote unquote. Maybe I'm getting too far ahead. I should stop here right now. But I'll save it for later. And then we cut into the scene where Oteka and the chameleon are talking. And Oteka had hidden ambitions. I don't know if he still is in allegiance to his master, Gifu, but from what it looks like, he assumed that Gifu was destroyed. So he figures, oh, well, I can do whatever the hell I want, and my ambition, my main goal is to conquer the world. And the chameleon is like, okay, I will help you. And yeah, that's it right there, believe it or not. And then we cut into Julio and Angelia, and they pretty much, they don't know what to do at this point. They assume Gifu was destroyed, and it's rough for those two because now the Deadmans are divided, and we don't know what Angelica really wants right now. But I don't remember exactly what she wants to do next, but all I know is it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. What else? Oh, right. I think they kind of I think they discovered too that Gifu was not destroyed. Okay, alright. And their plan is to infiltrate Phoenix, and then Julio was the smart guy in this situation. It's like, no, we can't. We cannot infiltrate Phoenix with just 2 people. There's no way. And he's right. So they need to come up with a plan. And then George is researching the Gifu stone or whatever it is, his frozen body, and he's trying to do research of what it is. What else happened here? Yes. In celebration of their victory, Mamasan took the kids to the grocery store so they could have a big family meal. And that's where Mamasan gets kidnapped by the chameleon. And luckily, yes, evil mama took out a knife and tried to stab him in the back. Wow. But luckily, Hiromi kind of had a foresight of what was going to happen. And they have a big massive fight. And here's the exciting, the fun part of this scene. This scene gets to show Mamasan that I know you're scared and you have every reason to. However, let us show you that we can handle this. And guess what? Mama-san was a cheerleader, cheering her kids, punching poor Cove Love unintentionally. And poor Vice is trying to get Mama-san's attention, but she's like, oh, hey Vice. And he's all depressed. Trying to get Mama-san's attention, but nah, the cheerleading belongs to the kids. Sorry. But now Mama-san has witness that their kids can handle anything. They can handle the demons, whatever it comes. It's just a matter of trusting them. And this scene kind of proves that, don't worry, we're cool. But the disappointing part, though, is that they killed off the chameleon. To me, that's a huge mistake. Same with Kagero. Kagero could have just stayed until it was time for him to go back to the bottle, so to speak. Because I already imagine the chameleon and Kagero causing chaos, and just to the point where, you know what, they need to be stopped. We cannot let them wreak havoc, because me personally, the chameleon and Kagero would have been one of the top tier villains if they have let them live a little bit longer within the show. But to me, just like what happened with Kagero, of course he could always come back. It's been proven again. But what they'd done to the chameleon, it wasn't good. He could have just... I assumed that he would remain helping Oteka's side until maybe he rebels against him and just venture on his own. But he was killed off way too quickly, in my opinion. And we get to reveal his true face. What else? Another thing that I didn't like. Hiromi, take off that stupid cape. Even the original commander didn't have this weird looking cape. Hiromi is the acting commander for Phoenix, and you see him wearing this white cape, whatever, and I'm like, what is this? Take it off. It does not fit you at all. I'm not saying about the actual clothing size that, hey, it doesn't fit you and you need to get a bigger size, whatever. No, it just does not fit him at all. It's out of place. And hopefully he doesn't wear it. I hope not. If anything, he would have just took an old uniform from the commander and just wear it, because him wearing that, no, it does not fit. I'm sorry, it does not. It needs to be taken. Oh god, even looking at it right now, it's just ugh. No. Take it off, man. Take it off. Sakura gains a new V stamp, the turtle V stamp, and I just noticed is that if she gets a new V stamps, I think the V stamps for her is they turn into weapons. It kind of reminds me of the Claw Hermos, where it's like a fusion card, and you fuse a monster, but instead of forming a new monster with it, it forms a weapon instead. So it reminds me a whole lot of that. What else? Yes. Another highlight. Remember that Papasan was hurt because he threw his back? And Hiromi mentions that, we could take him to Phoenix Hospital. We have the best doctors, and he will be okay. So he went to the doctors, and he is cured. Then all of a sudden, this nurse comes in. This is later, towards the end of the episode. The nurse comes in and talks to George, and they were talking, and they discovered that Papasan literally doesn't have a heart. There's no heart there. This show has a lot of twists and turns, and it's pretty good. And yeah, it's kind of freaky because Papasan doesn't have a heart. Makes me wonder. And I have a hypothesis, but I will say that I will save it for later into the very end. So they're celebrating, yeah, and then Sakura receives a call from the son of the creepy stalker family. And it ends where she gets into this house, which, by the way, looks like a brand new house with nobody living there. And she stumbled across a secret passage into some evil secret basement. Everything was green lit. And she goes inside, and that's the end of the episode. The end of Kamen Rider Revice in 2021. Yeah. Aside from the horrible cape to the beginning scene to the death of Chameleon, it was okay. Gifu, George is still doing his science stuff, and just he thinks that no, this is just nothing more than a statue. But then it cuts into the scene where inside Gifu, where it has his heart beating, so he is alive. He's just encased in stone, not really in stone, but he's just frozen. And here's my hypothesis. Papasan has no heart. Gifu has his heart. So I think those two are connected somehow. And could it be possible that Gifu may be Papasan's demon? I know it's far-fetched, but think about it. Papasan has no heart. Gifu has a heart. Maybe I'm digging in way too close. Maybe this is just a weird hypothesis. But, I mean, let's face it. Revice is giving us a lot of shocks, twists and turns. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they took that route. Maybe Gifu and Papasan are connected somehow. And think about it. 3 children are able to become writers. They have their own demons, because we all learn that 3 of them, they cannot transform without their demons. Kagero, Kovalov, and Vice. And it makes me think, maybe Papasan was Gifu. And maybe they got separated, or maybe Gifu, like I said before, is Papasan's demon. I don't know. I'm just drawing an hypothesis. It's still early, but it's gonna be a while. Imagine if my hypothesis becomes correct. Ooh. Wow. To me, it makes... I want to say it makes sense because Hiromi mentions that they're special, and I believe they're special for a reason. So, I don't know. It's a wild, far-fetched idea, but I wouldn't disregard it just yet, especially when it's early and we're hitting the 20 to 30 mark. So to me, this episode is like the end of an arc. aside being the last episode of 2021, this is like it's like the beginning of a new arc, because in the next episode after the New Year week, so we have a week off, Oteka is gonna he's gonna bring back the Deadmans under his banner. So there'll be two Deadmans at work, one with Agilia and Julio, and then you have Oteka. And also, when the chameleon was destroyed, his energy, he disappeared. So I'm guessing his energy, his soul went to Gifu. So 3 demons down and 3 more to go. But I still think that maybe the 6th sacrifice, I don't think it's Angelica. I think it's Icky. But again, I don't know. Just a wild idea. Anyway, what do you guys think? Did I miss anything? Did you like the episode? You did not? Tell me all about it in the comments below. Give a like if you like it. Give a dislike if you don't. I don't care. Let's see, what else did I miss? Yeah, so I mean, like I said, if I miss anything, just comment. Thank you all for sticking around. Hope you guys had a Merry Christmas, and here's to a Happy New Year, I hope. And I will see you all on the other side of Oblivion. Johnny!